Our industry is full of stress, it is full of competition, it is full of challenges, it is full of negativity. I've seen downfalls. I've seen tremendous fame when I became like at 19, within a year I was like the number one face of the country. In front of me, I've seen people change. I've seen people change within my show also. I've seen people change who were nothing, became something, and then they changed. There was a time when I was doing films only to make money because I had bought my first house, which was in 2005.
Quite early.
Very early.
Yeah.
So I was doing films left, right, center. जो आ रहा था मैं कर रहा था कि भाई मुझे पैसा देना है.
Where you were not doing well mentally, and it was during a time where it was such a big taboo.
So I had no idea what was happening to me. Even my doctor didn't. She couldn't recognize what it was. She sent me for ECG. I spiraled down into the deepest, darkest state of mind, which is called depression, obviously. So I reached there and I had no idea. It took me 4 years to sort of come out of it. But 4 years I came out of it and came out of it like really strong. Shooting for Sing is King in 2007, I think, while I was suffering from this. And I said to myself, Sudhanshu Pandey, this is not your end. You are here for much bigger things.
Well, my guest today is somebody who's created a very, very special space for himself in the showbiz for the past 3 decades. And if someone has managed to not only stay relevant, but also make a big name for himself in every house today, and now shown his real side, then it has to be Sudhanshu Pandey, who joins me for a very special podcast only on FPJ Showbiz. Hi, Sudhanshu, how have you been?
Very good. Thank you so much for having me.
You're most welcome.
For such a lovely, warm introduction.
You know, I truly believe in this one thing because I'm 7 years into the industry and our industries are quite similar.
Yeah.
In 7 years, I have realized how tough it is to be relevant every single day. You've managed to do that for over 3 decades. I can't imagine how somebody can be, doing that without, of course, having any external backing in terms of not coming from a film family, not even knowing anybody from the film industry when you first started off. How have you managed to do that and still maintain a reputation? Because even today, when I hear your name, people say that he's a very sorted, nice guy. Even your Traitors people like co-contestants said the same thing.
I think it has got more to do with my focus always being on evolving myself as an artist, as a human being, then focusing on कि वो क्या कर रहा है, वो क्या कर रहा है, दूसरा artist क्या कर रहा है, competition. I think that is where you tend to lose your grounding.
Yeah.
So what I think I've been blessed with the fact that, I've had a brain or a mind to think in the right direction. It's, they say that your thoughts are also a part of your prarabdha or, your karmic cycle.
Yeah.
So I think I've been blessed with that. That I've never, it could be one of the things could be the kind of background I'm from, the kind of upbringing I had. And upbringing is not like directly, it is not like your parents telling you what to do. It could also be the atmosphere you grow in, right? जो आपके आसपास का माहौल होता है, that has an influence on you or effect
Absolutely.
on you while you're growing up. So it's an unintentional, intentional sort of mind or your growth or evolution through that atmosphere. And at an earlier stage, when especially the first 5 to 10 years of your life, the kind of atmosphere that you've lived in or you've grown in, or what you've seen and experienced, I think that sort of lays your foundation for the rest of your life.
Absolutely.
Because then that is where you belong. In the end, what happens is if you've had a very strong sort of a upbringing or very strong influence of your surrounding on your upbringing, it strengthens your roots so much that, for the rest of your life, even through the influences, the external influences, the surroundings and all of those influences that can sort of आपको थोड़ा सा हिला सकते हैं या बहका सकते हैं या भटका सकते हैं. उस भटकने में भी कहीं ना कहीं आपके दिमाग में ये ख्याल आ जाएगा कि यार मैं गलत रास्ते पे जा रहा हूँ. दिस इज़ नॉट वेयर आई बिलोंग. सो आई हैव ऑलवेज हैड दैट प्रिविलेज कि मैं जब भी भटका भी हूँ रास्ते में, if I've taken a path that I shouldn't be, I realize very fast. And I've always taken a U-turn at the right time and come back to where I belong.
Yeah. But you said something about not thinking much about others and just
Not
focusing.
at all, in fact.
Yeah. Just focusing on your work.
Yeah.
I think it comes from a lot of experience, because when you start very young, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel you tend to think, you tend to get insecure, you tend to get these things in your head ki yaar, why am I not getting what he's getting? Did you ever have those phases, or were you always this sorted?
See, the questions will always arise in your mind. All sorts of questions, all sorts of silly things will arise in your mind, because that is human nature. आप उसको नहीं बदल सकते. So it's how you learn to deal with those things and not let them overpower you or overtake your thought process. That is important, and that is what we all need to learn, how to deal with those, because mind plays havoc on you. And especially in our industry, like you rightly said, our industry is full of stress, it is full of competition, it is full of challenges, it is full of negativity, it is full of all sorts of things. So if you do not strengthen your inner self, then you can be swayed away anytime, because the influences are very strong and the surroundings can really have a very lasting impact on you. So you need to be really internally strong. You need to make an effort to, and the sooner you realize that, the better it is, because then the damage will be lesser.
Yeah.
So you need to realize that soon as possible, that you have, this is you, this is your life, this is your individuality, this is your vajood, your standing. You must value that, you must respect that, you must understand that God has given you an individuality.
Yeah.
He's made you a separate individual. You must understand the reason, the meaning of your existence. And once you do that, then you will learn to work on your own self, and make sure that nothing else affects you or impacts you. Instead, you make yourself stronger, you make yourself better, you hone your skills, you become better and better every day, whether it's your quality as a human being or your quality as an artist. And one day you'll realize that you're far ahead from millions of them there in the, who were in your competition at some point in time. They're not even there, So that is what I think I have always believed.
Today when you of course look back at your journey now, there are two ways to look at it. One is being grateful, being very thankful of whatever came your way, because things could go wrong. And the second one could be
They do, and they did.
Yeah. But today, of course, you have that, you are, of course, way evolved as a person now. You must be spiritual, you must have logics behind everything. But when you are, of course, in your early 20s, you said you started as a teenager, your brain doesn't work in the similar manner. It always thinks of finding something better, something bigger. आज जब आप पीछे देखते हो, do you think you did everything in your power correctly, or do you have any regret?
I don't have any regrets at all.
Lovely.
I would never ever think of myself like that, because I've always said that, and I've always believed, and I always tell everybody, whether it is the younger generation, the Gen Zs, or whoever, I always make sure that they know that it is human to err, is human, right?
Yeah.
To commit a mistake, or to be, suddenly, a mistake, to commit a mistake is very natural and very human. And it is important, it's very important, it's a very, very important part of your growth. Because if you do not commit a mistake, you will not understand uh, what is to be done and how to
Absolutely.
correct yourself. It's like failure is one of the most important aspects of your life. Because if you don't fail, you will never grow, you will
Yeah.
never learn,
Yeah.
you will
So
never
true.
know what not to do. So it is very important to experience failure. Success to agar hai to hai, because that becomes monotonous after some time, because you're just successful,
Yeah.
right? Everything is good. But what will you learn from it? Nothing. Because you're successful. You learn when you actually fail or you commit a mistake. Because then you make efforts and your endeavors are to create a better version of yourself in every which way, right? So that is what I feel, that all those things that have happened with me, all the mistakes I committed, all the bad times, good times, everything is a part of me, is what makes me what I am today. All the words of wisdom, if at all, I can say or share with somebody or impart my knowledge with somebody, I think it is all a result of all those things that I've gone through in my life. So I do not have any regret of anything in my life, because everything has made me what I am today.
Absolutely, and this might sound very कि इसके पास नहीं है इसलिए बोल रही है, but I really feel that sometimes I am so grateful that things didn't come easy to me either, because of so many ups and downs and the failures. It's made me a little sensible. It's, of course, I have a long journey ahead, but it's made me think that sometimes things are not in your hands and you can't blame yourself for things if they ever go wrong. So I think I completely agree to when you said failure is very important. It truly is, because when people don't fail, it actually shows. And so many people today, so many new actors who are entering, उनको देख के actually लगता है they got everything so easy in life that now we don't want to see you on screen. Do you feel this way? Because when you guys entered, in the 90s, it was a different scenario. Today we have PR, we have social media, we have so much of access that anyone and everyone's just becoming famous. It's easy.
Yeah. The last sentence I completely agree. Anyone and everyone is becoming famous.
Yeah.
But but let me put it this way. They're not famous. They're popular. And the popularity can be, there are many ways to become popular, right? You could run nude on the street and become popular.
Yeah.
आप 2 बार दौड़िए, तीसरी बार पब्लिक जमा होने लगेगी, बिकॉज उनको पता चल जाएगा कि यार एक इंसान जो है यहाँ से नंगा दौड़ता है, तो दे विल कम एंड वो तमाशा देखने के लिए लोग आ जाएंगे. सो पॉपुलैरिटी कैन बी दैट. आई थिंक मैं ये चीज़ पहले भी बोल चुका हूँ, फिर से आई अगेन से, देर इज़ always going to be a world of difference between popularity and fame.
Yeah.
There is a difference between followers and fans. Fans वो होते हैं जो आपको आपकी कला के लिए अप्रिशिएट करते हैं, आपकी आर्ट के लिए अप्रिशिएट करते हैं. इरफान खान को अप्रिशिएट करेंगे वो, या फॉर इंस्टेंस लेनी क्राविट्स को अप्रिशिएट करेंगे फॉर द म्यूजिक ही इज क्रिएटेड. सो it is the art that people fall in love with, right? You'll fall in love with an artist because of the form of art that he displays or he brings to you. Because it is somewhere down the line, it must have had an influence on you, your mind, your soul. Probably some sort of healing must have happened, or somewhere it must have touched your soul or heart, because of which you become a fan of the artist, right? So I think it is very, very unfair to name the so-called anybody, everybody, the popular brigade, in the same breath as you mention an artist or an actor or anybody for that matter. नहीं तो फिर हम आशा भोसले में, लता जी में और इन लोगों में कोई फ़र्क नहीं है क्या? It will be so unfair to do that, right? We can't even dream of taking their names in the same breath. So, yes, it is true. A lot of things have come easy to a lot of people, but they don't realize that anything that is easy is also very, very temporary.
Yeah,
you know,
it is.
it is not. It's not permanent. It can never be permanent, or it can never stay for too long. And the best part is they don't even know. They have no clue that they
Yeah.
have only maybe 6 months to a year of that really so-called popularity that will take them. But beyond that, if you do not work on yourself or your art, your skills, you can't sustain this industry, because there are millions of artists there who are struggling every day to earn their single pennies, and somewhere down the line they will have an opportunity of becoming something. But people who don't have anything, don't have any skill or talent, they can't survive here. You cannot, you just cannot, because ये सृष्टि का नियम है.
हाँ.
ये ऊपर वाले ने बना के भेजा है. अगर आपके पास कला है तो उसको अप्रिसिएशन मिलेगा ही मिलेगा.
Yeah. थोड़ा टाइम लग सकता है शायद, क्योंकि बहुत सारे और फैक्टर्स है, लक है, द फैमिली नेम इन आवर इंडस्ट्री प्लेज अ बिग रोल.
Success should not come easy to even an artist, I would say, because
Yeah.
I think we all, as human beings, we need to learn the value of what we get. I'll give you an example. मेरे दोनों बच्चे जो हैं, जब वो बड़े हो गए, मतलब ठीक ठाक बड़े हो गए थे, जब फ़ोन पकड़ने की उम्र आती है, तो नॉर्मली इफ़ यू सी अराउंड दीज डेज एवरीबडी गिव्स देयर किड्स फोन्स एट द एज ऑफ 3.5, 4, कि बेटा लो वीडियो गेम खेलो. फिर वो बच्चे लगे हुए हैं फ़ोन में और उनको खिला रहे हैं, फीड कर रहे हैं, यू नो. They don't even realize what kind of damage they are bringing upon that child at such an early age, you know. We gave phones to our kids very, very late, post their, around their 10th standard. And also we didn't give it to them. We told them that the time is coming for you to have a phone. So earn it, make some money. So they started collecting money.
Wow.
So they both my boys had to collect money for the phone, and they collected it for a very, very long time. And then we contributed a little bit, and then they got their phones, and not even the phones, not
iPhone, huh?
the initial basic
Normal.
ones, and then they moved to iPhones much later.
Wow.
So they know the value of money.
Yeah.
They know the value of earning something. It's a basic understanding that anybody should have.
It is so important to have this correct upbringing, because you started the chat with your own upbringing, and that is what you are instilling in your own kids. Even my father said that you have to get 90% above for an iPhone, and iPhone was a big deal back in 2015. Ki, it was expensive, and of course more than that, it was like, a good of luxury. People used it like that. And he said if it's 80%, you get like a normal phone, and there were like bars set, and if you fail, you don't get anything. And I was like, I'm not gonna fail. But now that I think of it, I think we value money so much more because of these things. Because even when you have certain privileges and your parents don't give access to those privileges too early on time, I feel you grow up to become a very sensible person in terms of money. Do you also do these things with your kids to also keep them grounded? Because it's so easy in today's generation to just go haywire.
Yeah. I think, like I said earlier, it is not about parents telling their kids कि ये करो, ये मत करो, ऐसा मत करो. You can never force values on somebody.
You can't.
What you have to do is, it's a very simple thing. Create that atmosphere for them. Create that surrounding for them. When the surrounding and the atmosphere is created around them, they will grow exactly the way you want them to. And it is how we have done it. So they've always had that sort of atmosphere and surrounding, and they've grown up to be nice, good human beings. And I can see that because of the way they are with other people, or even the animals, or for that matter, even birds, They're very compassionate, they're very sensitive, they're respectful. And I think those are the most basic human qualities anybody should have. So I am happy that they have it.
It's also very important to have a partner who's supportive, especially when you work in the film industry, because obviously you have long shooting hours, sometimes you're unavailable. And to give that kind of upbringing to your kids, you need to have an equally evolved and involved partner.
Yeah, absolutely.
So how has that journey been?
I think the mother always has more contribution to that, because kids are somehow always more
inclined.
and because of the kind of time they get to spend with the mother, because the father has to step out and has to go out and make the money or make the living. So I would say that yes, my wife Mona has really contributed heavily into the kind of things that I'm talking about, the upbringing and creating that atmosphere and surroundings. So we've been fortunate. I think we've all been very fortunate. वो घर में वो जो पूजा पाठ वाला माहौल होता है, all of those things really make a lot of difference, because they are sort of whatever said and done, they work like major anchor in your life.
Yeah.
These are all anchors of your lives. So they keep you anchored. They don't let you waver very fast, because I think any sort of belief system in your life is very important to keep you anchored. Because अगर आप किसी चीज़ में विश्वास नहीं रखते हैं या कोई बिलीफ सिस्टम नहीं है, तो आपके खो जाने का या भटक जाने का बहुत ज़्यादा स्कोप होता है. That's what I personally feel.
मैं थोड़ा डाइवर्ट हो गई because I genuinely related with the upbringing part. So but coming back to, of course, your career, your professional life, was there ever a phase where the starry tantrums or the star power, or in your head you start thinking that now I am somebody big? Did that ever take over? Because I've heard so many actors, especially who have worked for over 2-3 decades, say कि हाँ यार एक time आया था, I thought I'm gonna make it, I have made it, and I started treating people a little differently, and I am very guilty about that.
No.
Wow.
I've never had that sort of, ऐसी कोई गलतफहमी मुझे कभी हुई नहीं कि मैं कुछ
But when sorry to cut you, but when you entered, there was this notion that he is going to become, like, people did think that he's going to become a big star, and even your performances were praised.
See, I think I've seen tremendous fame from the start of my career.
Yeah.
I've seen downfalls. I've seen tremendous fame when I became, like, at 19, within a year I was like the #1 face of the country, because I was endorsing all the biggest brands. I was doing shows with Rohit Bal, JJ Valaya, international shows, and so I was like all over the place. My face was the face of every top brand, whether it was Ray-Ban, whether it was Bhilwara Suitings, whether it was Nivea cream, whether it was Monte Carlo. You name the brand and I was endorsing it, and I was the face of it. So I've seen that. Then I've seen again, like, crazy fame during Band of Boys.
Yeah.
Crazy meaning crazy, another level fame. And I've done over 50 feature films, good, bad, ugly, Then again, if I were to count television, then I would say Anupamaa was again something that has turned out to be the biggest thing in this country, or this country's ever seen in terms of a television show. And the character that I played, Vanraj Shah, became iconic. And so I've seen so many phases, of life. I think somehow I've realized that, everything that happens nothing is permanent, right? And I've never taken it so seriously that I would change my attitude or behavior towards somebody. It's never happened. Maybe I'm just lucky to not think that way.
Yeah.
Because some people, I have seen people change.
Yeah.
In front of me, I've seen people change. I've seen people change within my show also. I've seen people change who were nothing, became something, and then they changed. And then they changed so much that, even I was like, I used to have those, वो जो पहले कॉमिक्स में दिखाते थे ना, ऐसे थॉट जाता था, वैसे
थॉट बबल,
ऐसा थॉट वो ऐसा जाता था. उसमें कई तरह के क्वेश्चन आते थे जो मैं यहाँ नहीं बता सकता. तो
they changed so much that sometimes the producer also had to change them. ऐसा भी हुआ होगा?
नहीं, सभी चेंज हो गए. सभी चेंज हो गए. मतलब आई थिंक द सक्सेस, The success of the show was huge. You know, it was huge for everybody, even the producer. So nobody had seen this kind of success on television. So it was a big deal. And I think God is very kind. I think God has been very kind. And I'm eternally grateful to the Almighty कि ऐसा कुछ हुआ. But never anything, you know, sort of. In fact, I've always realized that I became more and more humble. I was always humble, but I think मेरे मन में और ज़्यादा ह्यूमिलिटी आ जाती है जब भी ऐसा कुछ होता है, बिकॉज मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि यार यू नो इट्स गॉड इज लाइक गिवन मी सो मच, डू आई इवन डिजर्व इट, यू नो. सो आई लुक एट everybody else or somebody who's not as privileged as I am in a more humble manner somehow, you know, because I feel that, you know, I don't know whether I'm worthy of so much also or not. So it's always like that. I've never had that kind of a feeling in me.
I read this somewhere that, you know, things could always be better for you, but they could also be much worse. So because we don't work with that mindset today I see everybody, and guilty as charged, even me, myself sometimes, we are always just chasing the next big thing, like, you know, what next, okay, now this is done. We don't even sit down to process our own success. And, you know, Pooja will agree, she's sitting here, and we have worked together, we know each other from outside, we have been in the journalism field for so long. Sometimes we forget to give ourselves the credit. People will come and say congratulations on your show or whatever, and we'll just be like, yeah, okay. It becomes very difficult. We become very self-critical, and we're so easy on other people. I will take not even 10 seconds to appreciate and praise you genuinely from the bottom of my heart, but I will maybe take years to say one good thing about my own work. And this happens a lot. This also makes us a little, I don't know, upset in what we do professionally. How is your relationship with yourself in terms of your work? Are you very critical, or do you give yourself the credit whenever it's due?
So I've never taken myself so seriously.
Okay.
Never. Because I think if you take yourself so seriously, you will suffer. You know?
That is true.
So I've never taken myself seriously. If I've done something good, I will enjoy it. क्या अच्छा किया मैंने, you know? ये बोलना कि यार अरे यार नहीं यार मैं और कर सकता था, you know, that is a very silly filmy thing to do. I think it is, you know, when you're doing something, it is a sort of self appreciation. You must appreciate yourself. You must love yourself. It's a part of loving yourself. If you've done something good and you know that you've done something good and you're seeing it on screen and it's good. So if it is good, you must appreciate that, yes, I was able to do this, right? So it's God's grace that you were able to do something so well. I'm extremely confident as an actor, or you know, I believe in myself as an artist very, very profoundly, because I know what kind of an artist I am, how profound, how deep I am, and how connected I am with myself and my conscience, to be able to do or create magic on screen as an actor. And I do that. And I'm conscious of it. I'm not conscious of it. I'm conscious of it. And if I know that I'm putting in my magical bits into this, I know what kind of effect it will have on the audiences. I've seen that. I've decided and I've done it. And I've seen people have tears in their eyes. I've seen people have, you know, they're so moved or getting goosebumps, and people come and tell me, and I know that that is what I've targeted at, you know. And if I've been able to do it, I appreciate it. I appreciate the fact that I'm able to do something that I'm thinking, right? You must appreciate yourself. You must, because that's a part of loving yourself, right? Only then you can do better in life. If you keep criticizing yourself, you're criticizing God. You know, you're criticizing what He's given you.
Yeah.
Right? If you're doing something good, appreciate it. Smile about it. You know, think about it and smile.
Yeah.
That is very important.
It is. I'm taking that home, you know.
Yes.
Appreciate yourself a bit more. But of course, on that note, you know, you mentioned that you've done so many films and so many films have gone on to become really big. Some have worked, some haven't, but that's the nature of the business we're in. When you mentioned the word good, bad, ugly, I've done it all those films, what was going on in your mind? Because today I see that people have become really choosy about what film they do. But पहले ऐसा होता था कि firstly you had a lot of more responsibilities, so you didn't think so much. What was going on in your mind when you were saying to each project, yes to each project?
Different things at different point in time. There was a time when I was doing films only to make money because I had bought my first house, which was in 2005.
Quite early.
Very early.
Yeah.
So I was doing films left, right, center. जो आ रहा था मैं कर रहा था कि भाई मुझे पैसा देना है, you know. तो हर स्टेज पे अलग अलग रीजंस होते हैं. One has to be very lucky to be able to be in that stage where you can choose. Sometimes you're a beggar. You can't choose.
Yeah.
You can't be a chooser at that time. So you've got to pick up whatever and just take it as कि भाई God is very kind. कुछ आ रहा है, लेते जाओ, करते जाओ. Till you reach a stage where you have the the liberty to be able to choose what you want to do. और लास्ट 1 साल से तो मैंने कोई चीज़ शूट ही नहीं की है, तो मैं अभी तक तो चूज़ी बन के बैठा हूँ. But now I feel that I've reached a time where I think I must choose very fast, because I'm running out of resources. So I must do it for myself also, because mentally an artist cannot be idle for a very long time. You have to engage yourself in something and start creating, because otherwise it makes a mess of your head. Because creativity is something that you can't stop.
It does, yeah.
So I don't want it to create a mess in my head, and I want to really let it out in some form or the other. So that is what I'm doing.
There was also a phase that you've spoken about where you were not doing well mentally, and it was during a time where it was such a big taboo to not do well mentally, because सीधा आपको एक वर्ड है पागल, जो आज तो बोल भी नहीं सकते, वो बोल दिया जाता था, because even the doctors couldn't understand that we were just not so advanced as today. Today I feel a minor inconvenience happens to somebody, and I'm not making fun of people who are genuinely going through mental health issues. I just feel that we have used it so much in conversations that it's very easy for people to say mentally I'm not doing good. It's become very, like, I hear it on a daily basis from people around me, and I feel we should use this responsibly, because sometimes people are genuinely not doing well mentally. What was that phase like for you, because you didn't even have access to so much of research or knowledge on this subject?
Not access. Access you would look for only when you know that you're going through this. When you don't even know what has happened to you, then it becomes a very dangerous thing, So I had no idea what was happening to me. Even my doctor didn't. She couldn't recognize what it was.
Oh God.
She sent me for ECG.
Oh.
So I was rushed to the hospital. I had done, I had to do ECG and everything. ECG was normal, so they couldn't figure out what was happening, and I couldn't breathe beyond this, So it was a terrible panic attack. Terrible, like really terrible panic attack. And in a matter of like just few seconds, I spiraled down into the deepest, darkest state of mind, which is called depression, obviously in other language. So I reached there and I had no idea, So I was like, in my mind, there was a world that I could see, and I was all alone, So it is like watching maybe the planet Earth from deep dark space. You're just suspended there, floating, and you can see the planet Earth from there. So that kind of what should I say, exclusion you go through, completely alone. So it took some time to understand it. Then I went to a psychiatrist. She is a friend of mine. उन्होंने बताया कि ऐसा है, तो you take this tablet, it'll calm you down. So I took that tablet and it calmed me down, meaning I became like a zombie.
Oh,
So I said, boss, this is not happening. You know, I can't take tablets. So I didn't take tablets.
okay.
4 years, cutting the long story short, I realized that this has happened, but this is not going to be permanent. And I said to myself, Sudhanshu Pandey, this is not your end. You are here for much bigger things.
Yeah.
So I surrendered to Mahakal during that time. I started my prayers far more than I used to, a lot more, and all those things kept helping me. And it took me 4 years to sort of come out of it. But 4 years I came out of it, and came out of it like really strong. And it was, I credit that as one of the best phases of my life. I'll tell you the reason. It made me look at life very differently.
Yeah.
It made me understand the value of life and people.
People, yeah.
And also, that is when I started my inward journey. So I got in touch with my conscience.
Yeah.
And जो लोग सालों साल साधना बैठ के करते हैं, उनको जो मिलता है वो मुझे उस 4 साल में मिल गया, because I was like constantly on an inward journey. So it was a beautiful thing that happened to me. I think it is a blessing in disguise that happened to me, because it made me so much better as an actor. As an actor, it really changed me from inside. Really brought a tremendous amount of change as an actor.
And how were you working those 4 years? You were continuously working?
Yeah, I did. I was shooting for Sing is King in 2007, I think. While I was suffering from this, and I was 2 months. I was in Australia, in Gold Coast, and although Ranveer Shori had also gone through similar thing, so he was carrying one of those pills, you know. So he said, he gave one to me. He said कि तू इसको रख ले, SOS है ये. In case अगर ऐसा लगे कि नहीं हो पा रहा है, then you take this. So I mean, he was of a lot of help. Ranveer was of, because you know, when you talk to other people, no, you feel so much better.
Yeah.
So talking is very important. Speaking out about it is very important. When you're going through something, you must talk, because that really makes a lot of difference. So all the people who go through this kind of a thing, they must know that talking is very important. It's better than any medication in in life. So you must talk as much as possible to others.
In a way, you saved your own self, because you
Yeah.
said there was a voice in your head that said, Sudhanshu, this is not your end.
Yeah.
And that is very important. To have that kind of connection with yourself, it takes years and years. I think some people don't even realize it until the time they're on their deathbed. They don't have that feeling. When you got that feeling in your head that this is not my end, after that, do you think you started enjoying life even more, because now you know that nothing can actually end me as long as I don't decide that it's ended now?
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. I mean, this, like I said, you learn to value so much. I learned to value everything so much more. Even health, your health, mental health, physical health, everything, it's all interconnected. So that is why I'm very vocal about fitness and mental fitness also, because it's all interconnected and it all starts with here.
Yeah.
तो आपके विचारों से शुरुआत होती है और वो आपके फिर चेहरे पे और शरीर पे और आपकी आंखों में दिखने लगती है.
Tell me something about your physical fitness. A lot of, in the recent past, a lot of people have taken notice and even written articles on that. It's in India especially, we feel that, okay, after a certain age, it's okay, just do a 10-minute walk and all of that. It's not true. Honestly, it's not even related to how you physically look. I feel it's working out, it's related to how mentally it makes you feel. And a lot of people might watch this and think that why is she saying she's not fit, but I work out every single day for an hour and a half, and I don't care if it shows or not. What it does to me mentally is way more than any physical change that can ever come in. And even I feel physical changes come, it takes time, but it
Yeah,
does
yeah, you
come.
have to begin somewhere.
Yeah, you have to big. And I saw that a reel that day that even if you walk very slow on the treadmill, you're still way faster than everyone who's not walking.
Who's not walking? Who's
Yeah.
not even coming to the gym?
Yeah. So how has that relationship been? Because firstly, it's a very hats off to you for taking your physical health as seriously as your mental health.
So I've your latest example I'll give you. I saw a video of the gentleman who I mentioned, Abhi. That's how it probably came to my mind. Lenny Kravitz,
Yeah.
61 years old.
Yeah.
61, 8-pack abs, 8-pack, shredded like he can put anybody to shame
Yeah.
at 61. So, and he eats very clean, very very clean, and he has those greens and everything, juice in the morning, which is his energy in the morning. The first half of the day is that,
Yeah.
and then whatever lentils and some sort of form of protein that he takes. So I think it is very important for all of us to understand that as you grow older, you have to start eating uh, the correct food.
Yeah.
You have to start eating less. You have to start burdening your system lesser, because you age because of a few things. One, obviously, your stress levels.
Yeah.
That is one. Second, your sleep is very important, because sleep can really age you. Lack of sleep can really age you. If you sleep less, आप एक दिन सो अच्छा नींद लेके उठिए और एक दिन आप बहुत कम नींद लेके उठिए, you will see the difference on your face in the mirror immediately.
Yeah.
Immediately you will see it. So imagine people who sleep lesser for years and they're just नहीं यार इतना ही काम करना ये करना. They age like really fast.
Yeah.
And they will have a lot of other issues because they are not. See, your system, your body, your organs, they need to shut down. They need to rest for them to regrow, recharge, reset everything on a daily basis. And you need to give that time to the organs. And if you don't sleep well, your stress levels, your mental health, everything is bound to suffer.
Yeah.
The brain needs to shut down for 8 hours at least, for you to function properly. And then comes your food. We overload our systems every day. Your body needs this much.
Yeah.
We put this much, right? So rest of that food will not be able to break down. So it stores as fat in your body and ferments and creates toxins, and then there are acid levels going up, and then all those things that can go wrong, they go wrong. So we need to also learn that our system, digestive system, with age starts to tire out. So you need to reduce the burden big time, because then that will result, if your system is empty and light throughout the day, you see your face, your energy levels, your skin, your hair, everything will start improving.
Yeah.
In the longer run. And that is what everybody who's lived long, I always watch these people who are like 72, the 61, 72-year-old man. The other day I was seeing the video with his son. They both were doing calisthenics.
Wow.
And they were doing the pole flag position. 72-year-old man with like ripped body, and how? Like double fit than I am today. So, and it's all about exercising. It's all about eating right, and understanding at what age, what is your consumption, or what should be your consumption. And if you can become vegetarian, nothing like it. Being a vegetarian has the biggest contribution to your health.
Yeah. You are a vegetarian.
I'm a pure vegetarian.
Wow. Since the beginning.
या सिंस द बिगिनिंग, बट बीच में कुछ साल मैंने भी जवानी की जोश में बीवी के साथ खाना शुरू कर दिया. बट आई रियलाइज्ड, आई मीन, आई वेयर अ जनेऊ, तो आई एम अ जनेऊधारी ब्राह्मण, सो आई एम वेरी पर्टिकुलर अबाउट दैट.
It also helps a lot in terms of our industry. Ageism is a big thing, but it doesn't matter today so much if you don't look your age.
Yeah.
Do you believe that?
Of course, I believe that. Of course. I mean, age is, what is age? It's a number in other people's mind, not in yours. Like, when people ask me, तो मुझे लगता है मेरे को क्यों बोल रहे हैं यार? I mean, I can outdo a 22-year-old, 25-year-old boy in the gym in functional any time, So I'm as fit as that, So I don't know why should I worry about the number of age. I'm fitter than 90% of the people, 95% of the people in the gym.
Yeah.
I would say, or maybe even 99.
Wow, that's a big thing actually.
Yeah, it's. I think it is. It's just a state of mind.
Yeah.
You must.
It is.
I mean, if your state of mind is that, then nobody can take it away.
Yeah. It's a mental game. It's not even a physical game.
Completely mental game.
Yeah. But I think people have also started appreciating that aspect of you after, I don't know, I mean, I could be wrong, but after Traitors, I feel people are, people who liked you on the show, including myself, have really this newfound respect ki, this person is sorted, this person is very positive. We didn't see you talking ill about anybody, doing any strategy, any tactics. Despite not doing all of that shit, you were in the finale. So people really, respected that part. How did this happen? Because I heard in an interview you said you didn't want to be associated with any of the reality shows.
Yeah, which is why I never wanted to be a part of a reality show, ever. Because of the kind of, if I may use this almost abusive word called shit that goes on.
I just used it, it's okay.
Shit that goes on in there.
Yeah.
So it's a very negative space to be in, especially the kind of reality shows that we have here. When they called me, that was my first reservation. I said, if it's anywhere remotely close to a Big Boss or something like that, consider this a no before we start talking. So they told me, no, it's a niche thing for niche audience with niche players, and that's why we want you, we really want you in the show. तो मैंने कहा ठीक, इसलिए किया. Still ended up with only 85% good people. 15% still were very noisy and whatever. But it's okay. I mean, I knew my space. I was in my space. I cannot be a part of any gang or गुड बाजी होती है ना, सब बैठ रहे हैं एक दूसरे के साथ, फिगर आउट कर रहे हैं. The ultra smart people, I consider myself a fool. So I think it is better that I don't use my brain, because I'm a part of a reality show. It's a very smart and intelligent format. I cannot possibly outsmart the game. I cannot, because they are all watching it behind from the monitors. मैं कितना भी स्मार्ट बन जाऊंगा, they will know it. So what is the point of doing all that? तो हम जितने अंदाजे लगा सकते थे बस उतने लगाए, और I played like a clean game. I mean, I can never go and sit with people and say कि मुझे लग रहा है वो ऐसा कर रहा है, आज वो ज़्यादा उछल रहा है इसका मतलब वो है, आज उसने मेरी तरफ ऐसे देखा तो इसका मतलब वो है. All that I can't do. I couldn't have done that.
Yeah.
And everybody was doing that. So much of fighting and discussions and aggression and all of that went on, and 99% guesses were all wrong. Whether it was me who sat quietly, or whether it was them who were putting their minds and brain and everything into intelligence into trying to figure out, they still had zero results.
True, that is
right?
true.
Everybody was guessing wrong. So I think it was better that I stayed quiet and played the way I wanted to. I enjoyed the process of shooting there. It was a nice palace hotel. And, I like such places. So I was enjoying myself completely.
Did you ever lose your cool on set, or something that happened? Because a lot of things now I'm hearing from contestants that were not shown. कोई अच्छी चीज़ें कुछ बुरी चीज़ें बुरी honestly mostly उन्होंने सारी दिखा दी. But there was a scene and as an audience member I was very irritated to see that, and I have no I'm not scared to say this on camera. There was this task that was happening which was almost the finale task where Apurva got the chance to give the dagger to somebody. And y'all selected her unknowingly because वो select करना था किसको आप trust नहीं करते. And the minute she got up, she said, "You guys, y'all are fools, and तुम लोग पागल हो जो तुमने मुझे power दी." And in her zone, she said that. And I do understand she's young, but she's not that. She's 3-4 years younger to me. I would not do that when I was 23. But there was this tone that was picked up where even Urfi spoke about it, and she said that she was disrespecting. And a lot of times I have heard this word associated with her, that she was disrespecting, not only from you or Urfi, from a lot of more contestants. Either
Jasmine also said
off, either off the record or on the record. When these things were happening, as a person who's so secure, so sorted, did you not feel at any point that I should just give it to her once and tell her, or maybe explain it to her?
No, so during the shoot, I didn't have an issue because I used to tell her. I said, "बिना गाली के भी बेटा बात हो सकती है." I used to tell her, and she would control that time, in that the whole spirit of the game and all of that. But when I saw the episodes, that is when I got triggered, because then I saw कि यार ये behind the back, अगर ऐसे बात एक सीनियर एक्टर के लिए कर सकते हैं तो किसी के लिए भी कर सकते हैं. तो बिहाइंड द बैक अगर, और मेरा ये मानना है कि जो आदमी पीठ के पीछे ऐसा कर सकता है वो आपकी पीठ पे कभी भी छुरा फोंक सकता है. तो दैट इज़ फॉर मी ये बहुत इट्स अ वेरी नेगेटिव ट्रेट फॉर मी, एंड आई थिंक इट्स नॉट इन द राइट स्पेस एट ऑल, विच इज़ वाई आई कॉल्ड आउट दैट होल बिहेवियर. एंड देन it just went into a different space altogether, about, again, their mindset is कि अगर मैं बोल रहा हूँ या I'm calling it out, तो उनको ये लगता है कि मैं पब्लिसिटी ले रहा हूँ उनके नाम पे. तो वो सुन के मुझे और भी ज़्यादा हंसी आई. मैंने कहा यार इतने मंदबुद्धि हो चुके हैं ये लोग कि इनको ये रियलाइज़ नहीं हो रहा है किससे बात कर रहे हैं ये लोग, सो दे आर रियली सो सेल्फ ऑब्सेस्ड, दे रियली थिंक दैट उनके नाम से कोई पब्लिसिटी ले सकता है. इफ़ एट ऑल I got anything out of speaking or taking her name was only negative and abusive shit on my Instagram DMs, which is where they belong, which is where they come from. So I was not surprised. So it doesn't make any difference to me. But I do feel bad for them because they're completely lost, and I don't think they will survive too long with the way they are going in their lives, because this is not a way to survive at all. In this industry you have to really be, one, talented, second, behaved well, and do good, because in the long run those are the people who survive. True. Not the people who do bad or behave badly.
I read this somewhere that it's very, very, very easy to reach the top. What's difficult is to maintain your space. Absolutely. And I don't consider this a top but I do feel that what I mentioned earlier, getting things easy. Because today content creators, influencers, I completely agree they do a lot of hard work, no doubt in that. But since they get early access to this fan following.
But this is not content. I mean, if you talk about, certain people, I'm sure, creating a very good content. Like Purav Jha, I believe, creates very good content. I've
funny
seen
content.
That वो कुछ acting वगैरह करता है, and he's talented, So I'm sure he will do well. But this person who we are talking about, the content that I've seen is not content at all. I think it's a load of crap. It's abusive. It is disrespectful. It's in really, really negative space, and I don't think that is content. And if people who are following all that content are also coming from the same genre, and I would say that जो मैंने शुरू में आपको एग्जांपल दिया था कि अगर आप कोई किसी को देखेंगे नंगा दौड़ते हुए, 2 दिन दौड़ेगा, तीसरे दिन लोग जमा होने शुरू हो जाएंगे. So it is that, so it's not content. It's crap. And audience is there for every sort of things. लोग अगर अच्छी फिल्में देखते हैं तो बुरी फिल्में देखने वाले भी लोग होते हैं, लोग अगर धार्मिक फिल्में देखने वाले हैं तो लोग पोर्नोग्राफी भी देखते हैं. तो हर तरह की ऑडियंस होती है. You can't call that content, definitely not. Something that is harming the society or the mindset of the society, or is even threatening to influence the mindset of the younger generation. I think it's a crime.
Wow, well put. I think experience teaches you a lot of things. I wanted to say this, but if I would have said it, it would have not sounded this decent. It would have sounded a little harsh. But you mentioned about social media and DMs and all of these things. I'm sure people give in a lot of love also, because
yeah, of course
they do, of course. And there are two sides of everything. वो एक phase आता है जब आपको वो ज़्यादा negative comments आते हैं, but then that's just a phase and it fades away. How is your relationship with social media? This is the first part, and the second part is with media, because despite being from the media fraternity, I do agree that sometimes people report absolute bullshit without any proof. And you public figures, actors, they have to go through a lot of things, and y'all are often asked about rumors that we hear about you, that हमने ये सुना वो सुना. Is that true? I feel firstly you can't ask questions based on rumors, because they are rumors for a reason. So a lot of misleading reporting happens, and you have been in the industry for so long. Media से आपने बहुत deal किया होगा. So social media and media, how is your relationship with both of these things?
Social media for me is only a tool to sort of be out there, be in touch with my audiences and my fans, and keep putting something out there, or something that can be professionally relevant for me or helpful for me. That is what social media is for me. It's not something where I put anything personal or private, because that is not my privacy is my own, right? Media, I've had a very good relationship with, and I think media is of the utmost importance for anybody or any actor or any artist, because they are the ones who talk about us, they write about us, and that is what reaches the audiences, and that's how audience perceives us. And I've always had, I think that's what I believe, a large part of media really loves me and respects me.
Yeah, they do.
And I would also say that there is a certain section of media which is the so-called paparazzi brigade, which is according to me वो media नहीं है, वो गुंडे हैं. No, that's what they do, na. They'll focus. They'll zoom in when the girl turns around. They'll zoom in into the butt. When the girl is frontal, if she's wearing like a bustier or a lower this thing, they'll zoom in into the bust, the busty area, वहाँ पे. And they do things जैसे जो हम यूपी में रहते थे ना, जो गली मोहल्लों में लड़के जो छेड़ते थे लड़कियों को, ये वही चीज हो रही है. It's just through the camera now instead of happening through the words, It's the same thing. And that's a crime. It's criminal to do that. I get so angry about these things.
No. This is a topic of, getting... And if you ever listen to the audio जो पीछे होती है, हमको तो वो raw clips आती है ना, because we have an outsourced pap who sends us. उसमें अगर आपने पोस्ट किया ठीक है, एक बार एक एक्ट्रेस ने पोस्ट नहीं किया, they literally used a slang and they said अरे slang and चली गई. And ये सब behind the camera वो ये सब कह रहे होते हैं. And it is to listen. हम तो म्यूज़िक लगा के डालते हैं obviously, क्यों ही हम ये सारी फालतू चीज़ डालेंगे, but to even listen, it makes me so angry. They literally eve tease करते हैं ना, they literally do that with actresses especially.
That's why I said that it's crime. It is eve teasing. वही छेड़ते थे उसको eve teasing ही बोलते हैं ना, तो this is eve teasing. And they have the license to do it because they are the so-called media. This is not media, boss.
Nah, this is
अगर वो media तो आप लोग क्या हो? They should not even be considered media. They should be considered criminals. Absolutely, this is wrong.
Yeah.
I personally feel it is very wrong.
Of course, last year in terms of the media reports, you went through a lot of whys and buts, and when you took an exit from Anupama,
Yeah.
that happened. And I don't want to get into what happened, but there were so many theories that were put out. I have read, today morning I was reading, I have read at least 10 different theories of what went wrong. And these were all theories posted on big portals like Times of India, and like I can't name any other things, but big newspapers ki websites. So when these things were happening, did you ever feel like coming out? And because you have been so graceful about it, and you have always spoken well, and you've said that I just felt my time was done and I walked off, and it's done in a good gesture. Did you ever feel ki enough is enough, I want to just come out and now tell my side of the story because people have assumed so many things?
Never. It doesn't matter, because everything, every story that comes out is only a phase. It'll get over after some time. People will have something else to talk about, like they do always. And although I still get asked this question, why? So I always say that everything has a time. जब समय आ जाता है, तो समय आ जाता है. So whether it is to quit something, or when your life comes to an end, when it has to come to an end, it's decided, right? The time comes. अब उसका जरिया कुछ भी बने, आप एक्सीडेंट से जाओ, बीमारी से जाओ, किसी चीज़ से जाओ, आप जाओगे at that point in time when it's decided. तो for me, जो भी जरिया बना, चाहे वो किसी से लड़ाई हुई हो, मारपीट हुई हो, या मैंने कुछ डिसीजन लिया, जो भी हुआ, but my time had come to quit the show, which is why I did. The reason behind doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It does not matter at all. The ultimate truth is that I quit the show.
Yeah.
And because I think it was time for me to quit the show. Simple as that.
When people even today meet you, and it's been a couple of months, people should move on, but they haven't actually, and it's a good thing because they miss you. They truly, your fans truly miss you. It's been a year. Yeah, it's been a year. My God. Even when today they come and say that we miss you and you should come back, and of course it's in a good gesture. They genuinely feel that. How do you react to that, and what do you feel?
I just feel a little scared कि अब मैं ऐसा क्या करूँगा जिससे मुझे इतना प्यार मैं जनरेट कर पाऊँ लोगों के मन में, अपने लिए. Because when you do something that has gone to that level, it becomes a very big challenge, to do something. So that is my only challenge at this point in time. कि लोग जो चाहते हैं कि मैं शो में, obviously that is not possible, but something that will, bring the same kind of or intensity of love, or make them fall in love with my character again like that, is the biggest challenge for me right now. It's the biggest. That's why I've not picked up anything in so long. और मेरा भरोसा नहीं है कि मैं क्या पिकअप करूँगा. हो सकता है मैं कोई फिल्म करूँ या OTT करूँ, या हो सकता है टीवी में कुछ ऐसी चीज़ पिकअप कर लूँ जो मुझे लगे कि नहीं यार ये करते हैं, ये बिल्कुल ही अलग है जो मैंने अभी तक किया हुआ है. इट कुड बी एनीथिंग. आई एम नॉट, मैं बहुत ही अतरंगी हूँ उस मामले में कि जो चीज़ मुझे कुछ अपील करेगी ना, वो मैं कुछ भी कर सकता हूँ. कहीं पे भी हो सकता है, किसी बड़े चैनल में भी हो सकता है, छोटे में भी हो सकता है, OTT पे भी हो सकता है, फिल्म में भी हो सकता है, या हो सकता है साउथ में हो. यू नेवर नो. सो आई डोंट नो, बट the only thing is that I need to do something way better than what I've already done, because as an actor, as I would like to play a character that is going to have an impact on people's mind like it had earlier.
Last week there was a report that your character finally they are reviving, and an actor is supposed to play, and they named Ronit Roy that he's gonna step into and play it. And we did a YouTube short on it, and we played it. Like, this news has come, and reportedly, of course, there was no confirmation, and there were like a lot of comments of people who were very upset that don't revive the character because we are so used to watching him and we don't want. When this thing happens, because I'm sure जैसे आप feel कर रहे हैं कि अब मुझे कुछ ऐसा लेना है that gives me the same amount of love, even the makers must be in a lot of trouble and stress because they have to, these are big shoes to fill, and now if they are getting somebody on board, they have to do justice. So what do you think, is it you've been a part of the show for so long, is it a mature thing to do to get somebody to play your character?
I don't know how right the reports are, because I also read somewhere that Ronit had denied doing it.
Yeah.
But
But then they said that he's denied as a part of the agreement that he can't reveal it.
oh, okay.
ऐसा
So
हो रहा है
if
अब.
he's doing it, great. He's a fine actor.
Yeah.
He's been there for a long time, and I'm sure he can bring something new to the table. Having said that, of course, it's a challenge for any actor to fill into, not just because me. If I were to do something that Ronit has done in the past, which is very popular, and if I were to step into his shoes, it will be a challenge, because people fall in love with the characters,
Yeah.
right? They fall in love with the characters, and that is something you can't do much about, and you can't suddenly win over that audience by bringing somebody into it. It may take time, but I'm sure Ronit is if he's doing it at all, then I think he's capable enough to sort of make the audiences fall in love with him.
I hope so, because of
Yeah.
course in the end it's a show, and as they say, the show must go on.
Yeah.
But lastly, before I end this wonderful chat, I have to ask this to you. This wasn't in my list, but because I have had such an honest, such a nice conversation with you, and realized you are somebody who has a lot of knowledge about things, and I have taken so many things from you in this 1 hour chat. And a lot of aspiring actors do watch podcasts like this one. If there would be one advice to anybody who wants to, enter the industry and stay in it for a really long time and make a space for himself or herself, what would that be? Because you have done that for yourself.
Be ready to face failures. Most important. Because that is what is going to get you somewhere.
Yeah.
You have to be ready to face failures. And you have to be ready to go through very, very, very tough times. Because that is what is going to make you a good actor and a good human being also, and a stronger person also. But having said that, you have to have the patience,
Yeah.
you have to have the perseverance, and just be sure of yourself that sooner or later your time will come. And nobody can take that away from you. So stay positive, hang in there, and face your failures with a smile. And one day, the time will come when you will have success knocking at your door. That is not me saying; it's the rule of the nature.
It's great. It's always so great to be a good artist, but it's even better and even more important to be a good human being. And you've proven you can be both, and you can be both wonderfully and honestly. So thank you so much for this conversation. I have a lot of takeaways from it, and I hope we all reach that stage in life someday where we can be as sorted as you are.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
You're
so
most
much.
welcome.
I try my best.
Thank you.
Namaskar, मैं हूँ Sudhanshu Pandey, and you're watching me on FPJ Showbiz.